Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Brothers and sisters of East Kingstown, Maurice Village, Mr. President, I'm going to teeth a little bit in the meeting because Hollywood just over there, and Sharps, and both of us have a piece of Richmond Hill going up there. So, the truth be told, this meeting for East Kingstown and my distinguished president is very much on the boundary of both our constituencies. In fact, some of you are a little bit up the hill are more in central Kingstown than you are in East Kingstown. Because the road here is the boundary between President Eustace and myself, and we turn the corner there. And those on the left are mine, those on the right are Mr. Eustace. And when we reach the top by Miller's Gate, where Jules Fordman is coming in from Western George, the three of us put up there. And I couldn't put up with two better people than Eustace and Jules. But tonight, brothers and sisters, I live in East Kingstown. So I have also an extra privilege, because I also will not only be able to talk about him, but my family will be able to vote for him and do so very proudly. No, I don't feel bad about that. I'm very happy because Cummins do the same thing for me. so, in a sense, one hand can't clap. And as fate would have it, my family will in turn vote for Daniel Cummins. So, somewhere, somehow, this tag team of the Kingstowns are firing on all pistons. But I start tonight by saying, on my way here to support my leader and to be in communion and concert with my chairman, Linton Lewis, MPs Cummings, and Nature, and there is South Widow doing Noel with Noel there, and Quebec, so it was good to be here when you debut. I didn't know that before I came. But on my way here, at the Side Hill intersection, which by the way, you know, many people take for granted, one of the best pieces of engineering and road architecture and redesign in this country has been that Side Hill intersection, you know. As a matter of fact, had it not been for the New Democratic Party, I don't even know Luke would have office there tonight, much less to have a meeting. Because the whole rearrangement of the intersection that makes it possible to be there tonight. I normally don't speak about him. I am very careful in what I let come out of this mouth of mine. I try not to tarnish it. So I generally don't speak about him. But since early this morning, I saw the beginning of something that I don't like, and I speak about it over and over again. In the first instance, the lane to King Garden was blocked. They took out a whole lane, a whole road. A whole lane and a whole road, so that a member of the ULP could prepare an office for a meeting tonight. You said since last night, well, I gave it to you. That's where also Vincent the Grenadines has come to, you know. A complete breakdown of law and order and abuse of power of the state. I always like to speak carefully. Tonight, it doesn't stop there. Those of you who have had the opportunity to see how that meeting is set up there in Side Hill tonight, for the second, third, or fourth opening, rebranding, remaking, rechristening, whatever you want to call it. What you are seeing before your very eyes is the wastage and the display, and here the word I use, of opulence in St. Vincent Grenadines. Opulence means when you are filthy rich, when you don't even know what to do with the money you have. Today, they built a complete stage, and the decorations and the adornments there would have given Roy Ralph, Dragons, any band, Blondiewood, real competition for a Carnival Force Prize. I mean, it is a show-off that this country can do without. I think one of my older colleagues and friends made the point. When you begin to live in a country in which the political party, the governing party, is actually richer than the government, you know that country has collapsed and it is a failed state. What we are saying, Mr. Yusuf, I will never want to see the New Democratic Party wasting and showing off the nation's money in that kind of way, ever. And I thank you for your simplicity that all are welcome here, just across the road. As we in the New Democratic Party are saying, all are welcome in this great institution of ours, the New Democratic Party, led so very well at this time by an honorable gentleman, Arnim Olocustas, who for many years I have seen as a big brother. And even my school years, somebody I could emulate. In fact, his mother was my teacher at prep school and has much to do in shaping my own approach to things now. But I have said that. But I said this week, I will speak to where we are because I have authority to speak that way, that none on the other side can do. Because we're now 36 years of independence. And in a few days' time, we will be at the Victoria Park, or some of us, celebrating the nation's independence. 36 years ago, when I was in charge of the cadets and very much involved, Ralph Gonzalez wasn't even in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for a volcanic eruption, much more participation in our independence celebration. In fact, up to before they came into office, every independence parade, they organized a boat ride to take their people away from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That was their standard operating procedure, you know. They became patriotic from 2001. Today, in our 36th year, when we, as a nation state, should have matured in our national development, none of you are here in the crowd, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, public health worker, teacher, farmer, fisherman, sportsman, housewife, seamstress, whatever you do, not one single one of you or a relative of any of you will get an award in your name come Tuesday when this country has its national independence parade. In short, after 14 years, he has done nothing to develop pride, dignity, recognition, and appreciation of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. But Ralph has gone to nearly every capital of the world. Argentina, where he could get the national award of the country. Cuba, same thing. Venezuela, same thing. And I believe it's only time before he will get one from North Korea, because I think he has sufficiently distinguished himself in tyranny and being a despot. But he will end all of that. In short, it is not sufficient for a political party to ask its people, its citizens, to put us into office, but it's equally important, or even more important, that we address the critical aspects of carrying a nation forward and be involved in serious nation building and building St. Vincent for all Vincentians. That simply has not happened in the last 14 years. Now, there are two great songs among the numbers for this season. Get rid of them, which a lot of people talk about as the road march. And I know we'll beat it down after our election victory. There's also in the crowd, or was in the crowd, a wonderful couple, they're still in the crowd, Ninja and wife, who have done a song that's on the reverse side of Get Rid of Them. Because it is one thing to get rid of a government because of their corruption, their disrespect, their dishonor, the destruction of state institutions, the abuse and misuse of a country. But it's more important that we get a positive vote into office because we deservingly are the better team of people who could run St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2015. And there's an old saying, by your fruits you shall know them. By your fruits you shall know them. Or alternatively, you are known by the company that you keep. Look at the team of people who have come to offer their services under the leadership of Adam Yusuf while we are in office against the most despotic government in the world. A Bacchus from the platform here tonight with us. A young lawyer in Village Frederick. A Daniel Cummings, who have run one of the best water authorities in the region. A Dr. Ferdinand, who has run the East Caribbean Flour Mills and is among the most outstanding lecturers at the University of the West Indies. A significant public servant in Noel Dixon. An outstanding social worker, teacher and sportsman in Nature Stevens. I don't want to call Dr. Blogo Linton Lowest thing because he has so much of things and titles. Although it was not his fault that the pants couldn't fit him when he played cricket for St. Vincent at age 16. But he still made plenty runs, and not satisfied, he went to play for the Combined Islands and then for the West Indies. Chartered accountant, PhD in law, Dr. Friday. I never heard of a political party with 3 doctors in it one time. Well, our treasurer might say he's a doctor too, but I bring him into this one here tonight. And Mr. Yusuf, a young permanent secretary in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, headed our public service union, fiscal advisor, financial advisor, put to right the economies of Caribbean countries that failed, reached to the top of the Caribbean Development Bank, worked at the World Bank, and can bring his experience to bear to put forward a team of people who can hit the ground running. But that's fine. So he has put a team together who know what we are about. But people have to listen and pay attention, because I heard some of this kind of intolerance and ignorance in Vermont the other night, and it infuriated me. And I don't know what's wrong sometimes, why we don't understand the significance. Mr. Yusuf explains that in the 17 years that the New Democratic Party was in government, we made over $1 billion out of bananas. You here in Murray Village and in East Kingstown know when the banana trucks now almost reach up into Silky the Silver Yard. You know about that? In the night, you know about that? How come now your children here in Murray Village don't know what is the meaning of the word a banana truck? That they have not seen a banana truck in 14 years. You can blame Yusuf and Crooksang for that? So what does it mean? If in their 14 years they were short by nearly $800 million, what does it mean? The Ralph Gonzalez regime has been $800 million poorer than the period of time when the New Democratic Party was in government. And it explains why every fabric of Vincentian society has collapsed one way and or the other. In short, unless you are prepared to fool yourselves, it is indisputable that the quality of life for every one of us, irrespective of the political party of which you are a member, has deteriorated over the last 14 years. And that's your harsh reality. And that reality comes from the fact that you mistakenly voted into office people who did not know the arse from their elbow. So you want to perpetuate that? You had 14 years of that. I said you are known by the company you keep. Look at the contrast of the people who have been attracted to the other side. A whole team of people who feel not that they must make sacrifice, but that they have an entitlement. An entitlement by virtue of the fact that they are the son of this, or the relative of that, or a member of the other. Nobody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines has any entitlement. This national cake must be shared by all Vincentians according to your sweat, your tears, and what you've put in to what you can get out. And we must deal with that and the reality. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines today has a very serious decision to make. And the decision is whether you will allow yourselves to have people making use and abuse of state resources. Whether they will continue to show off the wealth which many cannot explain where it came from. Whether some feel they will simply transfer from one and or to the other. I make the point only because it needs to be emphasized. It is not just that we in the New Democratic Party are placing a premium emphasis on job creation. But how can you, and I ask the question, and I ask it largely too because Dr. Lewis is also on our platform and has a serious mission and piece of work he must do and deliver for us in this party. You can't have in a country where there are so many of us who have been educated by hard work of our parents, grandparents, and ourselves, that a person will feel that is a rite of passage, that you can give your child 3 jobs. The first is from council, which you said they didn't know about. The second job he got was ambassador to the United Nations. You also did not know about that. And then his third job, he became Minister of Foreign Affairs, perhaps when you also was not at a cabinet meeting. I have to assume so. And now you feel it's your right that the 4th job he should get is Prime Minister because you're tired of wearing going home. You are going to vote and support that? You will vote for Luke Brown so that he can support that? We have taken a position, and I'm going to wrap up on this now. We say that there are so many things in our society that needs to be changed, that needs to be reformed, that needs to be transformed. And that includes the very way we deal with governance. You all know that this is my strong point. Not that Monty Roberts, who was in our audience, didn't do, but everybody accepts a great job. Yes, he did. When Sir James Mitchell allowed him to give monies to different ministers to look after his constituencies. But the New Democratic Party of 2015 is going beyond that. We are going beyond that in a more significant way. We said it must be there by law as of a right that constituencies must have money voted for them so that development should start from your constituency. If I'm living in Murray Village or in East Kingstown, I don't want you to tell me the country developing and I still full of pothole, mosquitoes, back wall problems. I can't get steps to my home. I can't get medical care. I can't get what is needed for a modern society. My development starts with me and my community. So when you begin to prepare a national budget, I don't want a permanent secretary, a financial advisor, or a civil servant simply balancing the budget. It must come out of the belly of the experience of the people you have put into parliament who say these are the needs of my constituents. Start your budget with my people in mind. That's what we're saying. And we're offering you that in the New Democratic Party. And the other side are saying, hell no, we don't want that. Let them come up in the elevators and beg us for a favor on a Monday or Saturday morning. You want that? That's enlightened, that's developmental. Well, if that's your choice, so be it.
That's not
There's
important.
a lot we could do without time and effort. I said to you tonight, before board comes to the microphone, justifiably so, that you have a single choice. But you have the greatest responsibility here in East Kingstown. Ensure, as you have done since 1998, that Arnhem Eustace is in the parliament. Ensure that the Prime Ministership of the country is in the best hands at this time, in Arnhem Eustace's hands. Ensure that in the parliament you have the best team that's available, the New Democratic Party. Ensure that you would have voted not just for yourself, but for the generations unborn, namely your children and your grandchildren. And in the process, you would have rooted out for all times indecency, insult from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and removed a tyrannical leader and put in place a person who understands a people force opposed to development. Good night, thank you, God bless you, love you all, do the right thing when the election is called. God bless you.